The footage here has absolutely nothing to do with the topic I'm going to be talking about, but I happen to record all of this, and I have footage so I don't have to record a video of myself, so I'm gonna do that anyways. But today I'm going to be talking about the true crime community, as it's a community that I've been a part of, but have since learned more about it, removed myself from. And I want to go over 3 points today, those being ignorance, desensitization, and profit. The first one being ignorance is something I feel is very obvious. As an outsider of the true crime community, if you have done any research on this community, it is, like I said, very obvious. This really ties into the desensitization as well. If you don't care about a true crime case and you still choose to cover it, it shows. This is most obvious with people that stan serial killers, where they either don't know everything about them or they don't care and essentially condone their actions. Even if they say they don't, they still glorify them, which is ultimately very ignorant and harmful. If you claim to not condone the actions of serial killers and yet you make edits about them, your words mean absolutely nothing. Not that this is anything new, but seeing the amount of people who are new Jeffrey Dahmer stans after the Dahmer series was released on Netflix is very, very frustrating. I didn't really like the Dahmer series. I thought it was insensitive, but I also don't think that it glorified Jeffrey Dahmer. And so the fact that people can watch it and still come out of it thinking that Jeffrey was the victim, or he didn't do that much, he had a bad childhood, it is baffling to me. I'll never understand how you can condone the actions of that, because so many people have had bad childhoods or worse childhoods than Jeffrey Dahmer, and guess what? They didn't kill people. It doesn't matter. It's not like they're going to see it, as most of these serial killers that they're glorifying are dead, but it's a possibility that the victims' families could see that, and I can't imagine how they would feel seeing someone like that glorified who hurt them personally. Next, I'm going to talk about desensitization. I'm going to be talking about the Dahmer series a lot in this video, so fair warning, I guess. The amount of people that I've seen who have said oh, well, I watched the whole Dahmer series and none of the gore or violence bothered me because I'm built different. It doesn't even faze me. That's not a flex. That's not a good thing. Not being fazed by violence or gore, especially when it's a true story, is nothing to be proud of. That means you've lost empathy. That's not a good thing. And I can't believe that I actually have to say that. It's one thing to say, oh, horror movies don't scare me anymore, I've seen way too many of them. It's a completely different thing to say, well, I felt absolutely nothing hearing this true crime story about a serial killer because I've heard it so many times it doesn't even mean anything to me anymore. It should mean something to you. These are real people. This, and not only people being desensitized to gore and violence, but complaining that there wasn't enough in the Dahmer series, is insane to me. I suppose my point with this part of the video is that I don't understand. The last point is on profit, and this goes hand in hand with desensitization and ignorance. I think regardless of your original intentions with sharing true crime stories becomes skewed once you're making money off of it. Obviously, this doesn't apply to every true crime YouTuber, but with a surprisingly large amount, it seems they are only fixated on the money, and they know that talking about a popular case or talking about any true crime case is going to get views and is going to get them money, and so it's easy for them not to care about it anymore. Obviously, this is applicable to any career that started off with good intentions, but I think it's very, very obvious when it comes to the true crime community. That being said, if you like listening to true crime, or if you like documenting true crime, that's fine. Just be more careful. Do so with the purpose of spreading awareness and bringing help to the victims instead of it just being entertainment. And I understand this can be harder with community, because when you don't receive any backlash and you've built a community of people who agree with you and who never say, hey, this was kind of insensitive, I suppose it's probably easy to not even think about it being insensitive, but it's important to think critically about any content that you consume or any content that you make. And I think the DAHMER series was very well made, but it was also very unnecessary. And this is just my opinion, but I personally feel like documentaries are a much better way to spread awareness than reenacting these violent crimes. If you document it as a drama series, people are going to take it as a drama series and lose sight of the fact that this is real life. So all of that being said, I do advise everyone to think critically about the media that they consume and to question the ethics of such true crime content, because at the end of the day, you should ask yourself, is it spreading awareness or is it exploitation?